Hi there. Today I'm going to show you a very interactive way to do deep learning. You can also do so on my platform data.jarvis.ai. So first of all, let us go to the application which is going to allow us to do this interactive deep learning. So let us go to this deep learning lab, and within this you will see different architectures of deep learning. For example, multi-layer perceptron, convolutional neural network transformers. But for this particular lab, we are going to go ahead with the convolutional neural network. So it is a way in which computers see images. It is also called as computer vision, and we are going to use it to identify objects in an image. So let us go ahead and select this one. And here you see different data sets which are provided. So we are going to go ahead and select this data set which is titled as MNIST. So it is a data set which has got handwritten digits, and our objective is to predict what is the image which is handwritten in this particular image. So convolutional neural networks requires you to set up some convolutional layers which has got some filters. So filters is a way in which the algorithm tries to identify different features in an image. So for example, if you take the handwritten digit 7, it will identify a feature which has got the top line, and then it will identify a second feature which has got this slanting line in the number 7. So here we are defining two convolutional layers, and then we are also defining a dense layer which combines all the features to make the final prediction. So let us go ahead and select this particular architecture, and I'm going to now set up the training configuration. So training configuration, you require an optimizer, and here we are going to go ahead and select the optimizer which is called as Atom. And we need to also set up some learning rate. So here we are going to set up a learning rate which is not too high and not too low. You also need to specify a batch size, and here we are setting it to 64. It means 64 images will be taken at the same time for doing the training. We are also setting up some epochs. Epochs is how many times the training loop will run in order to train the model. So let us go ahead and select the settings, and as a next step, we are going to see the code which is generated. So here the code is getting generated, and you can see that the first action is to import Torch, which is a PyTorch library, a deep learning library. And then you are making some settings which are related to data loading, as well as we are also defining the architecture. So here you can see that we are setting up the convolutional neural network architecture. You also need to make a forward pass, which will ensure that the data is passed through all the layers of the architecture. And then you are also going to make some settings which are related to training, as well as you are going to then run the training loop, which is going to train your model. So this is a very exciting way to see the code which is automatically generated based on the settings what we have made. Now, my friends, let us train the model. So this will take few minutes or so, and let me join you back once the model training is complete. Alright, so the model training is complete and we have a very good accuracy. And here you can also see some training curves. So these training curves correspond to what is the loss over epochs. As you can see that it is decreasing, the loss over epochs is decreasing, which is great. And you also have the accuracy over the epochs. In addition, you will also see some additional visualizations such as the architecture of the deep learning model, which is fantastic to see. As well as you will also see some examples of the feature map. So for example, 7, you can see that it has identified the slanting line, as you can see from here, as well as it has also identified the top part of the 7. So it's very interesting to see on how this convolutional neural network is working. In addition, you will also see a confusion matrix which tries to compare what is the actual value and what is the predicted value, and all the numbers which are marked in blue, which means that the deep learning network is able to correctly identify the digit. But if you see some numbers in white, it means that the model is making some mistakes. So for example, you can see that for the number 9 here, you will see that in some cases it is identifying as 0, or for example, in some cases it is also identifying as 7. Now, in addition, you'll also see some examples of correct predictions. So for example, here you can see that number 2, the correct predictions was made. The true is 2 as well as predicted is 2. So this was a very good interactive exercise, and I would suggest that you can also try it out so that you can learn deep learning, which is a very complex topic, in a very easy way, in a very interactive way, and let me know your feedback. Thank you.